Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the third video of a series that I'm doing. It is Learn How to Read Tarot. And I am using the Fable Makers Tarot Gifts. So if you really like this deck, there is a link in the description to purchase. I'm not affiliated with this deck or anything like that. It's just really beautiful. I backed them on their Kickstarter. And and it was so cool because they sent us these tarot gifts in addition to physical, tangible tarot cards. So anyway, all right, so we've already covered the majors, we've covered the wands, and now we are in the suit of cups. The suit of cups represents water, summertime, the emotional state of being, and also intuitive abilities and psychic abilities. So where the suit of wands represented springtime and divine insight and creativity, the suit of cups represents more of like an internal psychic knowing and ability. So starting with the Ace of Cups. So in this card, you see the hand of God is bringing in a new opportunity in your life for an emotional connection. Whether this be a romantic relationship or a very deep friendship or even a birth of a child, it is representing incoming love into your life. The very beginning stages. There's a dove of peace swooping down, and the water's just flowing. The cup is overflowing because your emotional well is so full from this new energy. So it does represent new relationships or opportunities, love and compassion. The negative aspect of this card, if it were to come out in the reverse, or depending on some of the other placements, it could be repressing or blocking emotions, or selfishness. If you're using this card in a fertility reading, it would indicate the birth of a female child. Let's move on to the Two of Cups. Here you see the couple greeting, and in this situation, they are exchanging cups. So this is showing an equal give and take of emotions, of emotional connection. I share my emotions with you, you share your emotions with me, and we are connected and we are healing. In this particular card, there's the I can't remember what they call that actually, with the two snakes and the staff. I keep thinking of the single one, which is, I think it's called the rod of Asclepius or something like that. I can't remember what the two means, but it does typically represent healing. And the lion also represents one of the angels, one of the groups of angels. Again, I'll have to look that up to actually clarify which angel that would be, or which group of angels that would represent. So this can represent partnerships, romantic partnerships or friendships, even creative partnerships. Partnerships, romantic love, reconciliation. And as you can see, the sun is also behind, shining light on everything. The sun in tarot represents happiness and joy. Next, we have the Three of Cups. So in the life cycle of a human being, you are introduced to somebody with the Ace of Cups. You meet them, you start to interact with them with the Two of Cups. With the Three of Cups comes the celebration of even discussing your new relationships, your new partnerships with your close friends. It represents community and friendship and celebration. In a fertility reading, it can represent a bridal, or excuse me, not bridal shower, but well, it could represent a bridal shower, but if it came out with the Four of Wands, but in a fertility reading, it would represent like a a baby shower. And also in a romantic relationship reading, depending on the other cards that came out, this could also represent infidelity, like a third party. So it's not just Two of Cups anymore, there's a third cup involved. So, but typically in most readings, it does represent friendship, joy, hanging out with friends and family members, and also your children. Next, we have the Four of Cups. So this happens in life whenever we have everything we want, but in some cases, some slight disappointment can happen, and it can ruin our mood over everything. I know, sorry I'm wording it so strange, but it can either be having everything and still not being happy, or something happens to disappoint you, and there are people in your life that are trying to cheer you up, or other things in your life that you have to be grateful for, but you can't help but focus on the negative. You can't help but focus on the lack of fulfillment that you feel. So this card does represent deep thoughts, soul searching, apathy, which is that, kind of depression or just no feeling, and delusion. It can also represent a lack of caring, missed opportunities, or avoidance. With the hand of God bringing forth this other cup, showing this person, trying to show this person, here, look, there is still love out there for you. There's still emotional connection out there for you. You still have a lot to be grateful for. But this person is too busy ignoring it. And so then therefore there is a potential to miss an opportunity. Next we have the Five of Cups. So this is a very similar energy to the previous card, except the three cups that he was sitting there moping and pouting over that were still standing have now fallen over. There are two cups in its place that the divine has bestowed upon this individual to try to show them that not all is lost, but this person is too focused on the lost opportunity and the disappointment. So as you can see in the background, there's a river flowing very rapidly, and so this can also represent feeling very emotional, crying, feeling lost or unloved, abandonment, and regret. Next we have the Six of Cups, which is a very beautiful energy in a reading. It does represent innocence, friendship, as well as nostalgia, remembering the past, reconnecting with people from the past that you care for, reconnecting with family members, reconnecting with friends. Sorry, my voice is scratchy. I'm drinking loose tea and I got a little tea leaf stuck in my throat. So anyway, okay, moving on. So as you can see in this card, there are 6 cups full of flowers and life and vitality. And so it represents nostalgia, reunions, innocence, and memories. However, depending on other cards that come out, it can also represent remembering things better than they actually were, the way they really happened. So sometimes we can do that in our lives, where when we look back on something and all we see is the good times, and we fail to remember or recognize the bad times, which actually, if you were to evaluate the good times and the bad times, the bad times would outweigh the good times, but sometimes we get, we get so attached to those fond memories that we kind of have distorted memories. So this card, and depending on other cards that are in the reading, can represent that. Next we have the Seven of Cups, which is a card of many options, many choices, illusions, uncertainty, temptation as well. Because sometimes, depending on the other cards that come out in a reading, if there's other cup cards, it can give you a scenario for where the person is in their life. However, if this card shows up, then it would indicate some, like they've got this situation going on, Two of Cups over here. However, there's a Seven of Cups coming in, which is, showing the person some other options, other choices, as well as temptation. So Seven of Cups, too many choices, as well as unable to commit as well. Temptation, illusion. It can also represent determination and willpower, although I don't ever read it that way. I'm just looking at an information card I have. So it depends. Some people read certain cards certain ways. As a tarot reader, once you become more comfortable with reading tarot cards, you can tell yourself, you can tell your subconscious mind as well as your spirit guides, if you believe in that you would like for certain cards to represent certain things, just so you can get like a more fine-tuned reading. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, moving on. Eight of Cups. So this represents a situation in life where you've decided to move on. You have all these cups and they've all gone empty. So it's a time in your life where you're leaving all of your relationships behind, all of your emotional connections behind. And in this case, it's even sort of a daunting journey, because the unknown, as you set off, moving away from the things that you have been so emotionally connected to in the past, but you feel that you have to move on because the emotional connection is no longer there. With the cup showing up as being empty, it's like you've given and given all of your cups, but nobody has really filled your cup back up in return. And so you are taking this journey, you are walking upstream, you're going to go climb over those mountains towards the moon, which represents the unknown as well as illusions. And so, however, it does represent somebody with the moon sort of shining like a star in this situation. It can represent the ray of hope. The ray of hope that setting off and leaving this behind, you're moving towards your 10 of Cups. So Eight of Cups represents walking away, moving on, withdrawal, and retreat. And depending on how it comes out, if it comes out in the reverse, it can represent hanging on, avoiding change, or clinging to the past. Next we have Nine of Cups. Sorry, I don't know if I coughed on camera, you all. I'm so sorry if I did. Like I said, I have a tea leaf. I had a tea leaf stuck in my throat. Okay, here we have the Nine of Cups. So the person has moved on to a place where they are an individual. They are secure within themselves. Their cups are full. They have been able to, because they're no longer being depleted by other people who are not filling up their cup, they are able to fill their own cup and to be happy and secure within themselves. So this is a very good place to be. It's an energy of being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable within your own skin, being comfortable with your own life, and not necessarily needing people. You like people, you enjoy emotional connection, but you are secure enough within yourself that you don't need people around you constantly. So it represents satisfaction, abundance, happiness, and good health. It can also represent wishes granted. So you can use this card as an indication for a wish being granted. Excuse me. If it comes out in the reverse, it can represent overindulgence, arrogance, greed, or materialism. Although I don't know about materialism, but people can be greedy with other people's emotional energy. And so, okay, let's move on to the Ten of Cups, which is when you move on from the Nine of Cups into the Ten of Cups, indicates that you have companionship in your life. You have friends and family that you care for very much, that you get to spend time with. It's just a high point of being. It's a very, very blessed state to be in your life. So if you get the Ten of Cups in a reading and there's other positive cards in the reading, that's a very good indication that you're in a very good place in life and that you have people you can trust. So it represents happiness, fulfillment, total love, and contentment. In the reverse, of course, it can represent disharmony or just surface level happiness or a quarrel, an argument, disharmony. When in the upright, it represents harmony. So moving on to the Page of Cups. The page represents a youthful, loving energy. In a reading, it can represent a young person, a child, or an adolescent. That's a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But it does represent new love, playfulness, and happy surprise. So the pages are the preliminary messengers in the group. They would be considered the apprentices. So I don't know if you all remember watching Excalibur, and there was Arthur, and there was, his name escapes me, but he was the knight. And Arthur was just, the little page, the little apprentice, the little helper, and then there was Merlin, right? And so the pages, are that type of energy where it's like you're sending out a messenger, you're sending out feelers, someone's sending a gift or something like that. Then we have the Knight of Cups, which would be an actual, tangible offer or proposal. So when the Knight comes in with the cup, it is a messenger making a true offer, making a true proposal. So the Knight represents emotional offerings. It's the Prince Charming card too, is what this is indicating, which, it can be. Prince Charming is not always what he's cracked up to be. It can represent perfectionism, disappointment, or somebody who's jealous, depending on how it comes out in the reading, if it comes out reversed or the other cards that come out with it. But in the upright is generally a very positive, loving card. So as you can see, the water flowing, it's very gently flowing in the background. The sun is in the background. So it's a very good card. Then we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen can represent a feminine energy that is a water sign. So that would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. This is also an indication of a maternal energy as well as somebody who has psychic abilities. It is somebody who is very emotionally supportive, emotionally stable, somebody who is healing. So you can even use this card as a significator for a healer in a reading. And just overall a very nurturing person. In the reverse, it can represent somebody who is emotionally manipulative, someone who is emotionally imbalanced, somebody who's very jealous. So then we have the King of Cups. In this particular deck, you can see the artist portrayed the King of Cups as having a more emotionally turbulent energy. Or you could read it either way, actually, because he's in the turbulent water, but he's looking very calm, and his cup is looking very calm and happy and sparkling, and and so he himself looks calm even though everything around him is turbulent. However, depending on how you want to look at it, depending on the other cards that come out in the reading, or if it comes out reversed, it can represent somebody who's unreliable, somebody who is emotionally unstable, emotionally manipulative. This would also represent a masculine energy. Who has psychic abilities as well because of the water suit. So this represents somebody who's emotionally stable, somebody who's empathic as well, and a man of generosity. So people who, and not so much financial generosity, but generous with themselves, generous with their friendships, with their advice, that type of thing. Like somebody who's, there for you, a moral support, if you will. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all found this helpful. Comment below if this is making sense to you. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be the Suit of Pentacles. Have a blessed day.